This is another segment of my Harvest Series videos. Today I'm harvesting the last of my sugar peas. I can tell you why nobody does these videos. It's because everything looks so bad near the end of the harvest. Nobody wants to show you their plants looking like this. At one point, a storm came through and blew the tops of the plants over the fence. We had a lot of rain this year, and you can see the rainwater standing between the rows. These peas are planted in a raised bed about 3 inches apart in a band 18 inches wide in a row 21 feet long. I'm in zone 8 and I have a problem with the heat killing my peas just when they begin to produce. I've read that if they were planted thickly, the plants would shade themselves and hold up to the heat better. I wouldn't say it exactly worked. They produce very well planted this thickly. They were loaded with blooms, but with the first signs of heat, they started dying off. So I ended up with more peas than I would have if I planted them thinner, but most likely a lot less peas than someone would living in a colder climate. I planted onions next to the peas, then realized that you're not supposed to plant them together. I don't know why, and I didn't see any ill effects to the peas by planting the onions there, but the peas did shade the onions to the west of them too much. Here's the trellis after I pulled up the plants. I used plastic netting, and I'll never do that again. It stretched and sagged under the weight of the plants, something awful. I'll stick to trellising things like this on wire fencing, like this one here. So here's my last harvest. I had been picking this about every other day. I saw a bag of these in the grocery store, and a bag that held less than this was almost $4. I'm going to blanch these and put them up in the freezer and let you know what I ended up with in the end. I trimmed the ends and shelled out the peas that were over mature, then I rinsed them and boiled them for about 3 minutes. Then I put them in ice water for about 3 minutes. Then I drained them and put them in plastic bags. And if I was going to use these sparingly or individually, I'd put them on a cookie sheet, freeze them, then put them in a plastic bag. It's best to freeze sugar snaps. I've read that you can can them, but they end up mushy, and if you're going to can them, follow the directions for canning green beans. So I vacuum sealed the bags, and in the end, remember, I have a problem with the heat knocking my peas out. This is probably a worst case scenario. I ended up with 11 bags this size. I think I'll try to grow these again in the fall to see if they will produce better than this. And given how expensive sugar snaps are, I'd say this was a pretty good deal. Hope it helps.